Hi guys. Hello, hello. All right. So Leos, I wanted to take a quick little peek at a different storytelling. Everything is cosmic this week. So we're going to ask, what is the life that Leo is supposed to have access to, supposed to be creating or could create for themselves with the timeline that they're currently on, if they chose to take certain steps. We'll also take a look at any blockages. We got Wheel of Fortune. We got the Ace of Wands. This is lovely. We have doorways that are opening because of the way Leo is operating right now. We have doorways for things that Leo's been passionate about or new ideas. I feel like Leo's about to have some epiphanies, but it might be because they have a broad mind. They may be somebody who's like, you know what? If there's one thing that I've done, it's learned a lesson from every experience I've been through. And frankly, I feel like maybe I've processed enough, and universe, give me some new like fodder, give me some new experiences. I'm open, and I think Leo's openness to this is what is opening up their mind, which is opening up a new chapter of passion, excitement. Literally, we have got, this is a change in Leo's life. Leo could become anything. This could be like, let's say if somebody has recently let's say finished schooling, when you graduate high school or college, or any of those moments in life, or a certification program, or any of those benchmarks in life, right? You graduate high school, you're 18, you're embarking as an adult now. You graduate from college and you've got this degree, and that could open up new doorways for a career path. You graduate from some kind of certification project and you have new skills that you can apply, and all of these things can take you new places. All of this says what we want to do next. It's Leo has new choices, a new set of choices. If this is also about love, this says Leo has gotten much clearer about what really makes them passionate, what kind of person or personality they mesh best with, and now they're starting to look at the different people in their environment, the different options that exist, and they might have a much better idea of who they are. Therefore they'll be able to choose better from, look, there's 8 billion plus people walking around on the planet, right? But not all those people are going to be even a mildly decent match for us, because we're our own unique individual self. And when we know ourselves really well, that could also shrink down the pool, because it's based off of like, what qualities am I really seeking? What qualities does a partner have to have in order for me to feel compatible with them? Lots of things are negotiable, but a few core values might not be. And I just feel like Leo knows this. And so they're now looking at, as much as they have all these new options, they also have a much better idea of, what they want to do next, what they're seeking next, what kind of a partnership they're looking for. And that could have made their options more manageable. We have 8 of coins. All of this says Leo is, even though they're starting like to have more options and they're more clear than they've ever been about what would suit them. And this is getting to be like an easier chapter of Leo's life, is what I'm getting at. Because even as a single individual person, even as somebody that already has like training and maybe job experience under their belt, they're already at an 8 of Pentacles. This Leo has worked very hard to get to where they are. So this new chapter that's open for them, it's like if we front loaded our work. Let's say on a weekend, we're like, there are 15 things I need to do. But toward the end of the week, I started to pre-prep. I started to do certain things so that my weekend and all the things I needed to do would kind of already be aligned, kind of halfway's done. Maybe I was going to take a weekend trip, but I knew that. So on Monday, I actually did laundry. On Tuesday night, I actually packed all the clothes I was going to take. On Wednesday, I made sure that the car was gassed up and tires were checked. On Thursday, I went shopping and got some snacks, and it's like, by the time Friday, I'm leaving right after work on Friday comes around, guess what? All I got to do is hop in my car and go. Like, that's how this feels. So there's been a lot of work done, but now the open road is there for Leo. Or the work Leo did to get certified in something or get trained in something, they already put most of the work in. So now it's just go time. They learned who they are. They learned what they like in and out of relationships. Now they're pretty much like, honestly, I think that I could meet the right person and know who I want to be with pretty swiftly. I think that I could put in effort only on relationships I really see as potentially viable. And if I don't see what I like, I can also walk. I think that this Leo is more decisive than they've ever been. That's the life that Leo has created for themselves by learning about who they are, by learning about what they like, by learning about the fact that they like to have options in their life and they build those options by putting in the work and the effort and then knowing what they will not settle for. This is a Leo who probably doesn't find themselves taking on jobs that are like, this is not paying me enough. This is not what I like. This is not where I want to be, but I guess I'll do it and I'll be miserable, but I'll, maybe someday I'll get to change something. No, I think this is a Leo who's like, oh, no, no, no. I saved up a little bit of a nest egg. I know that I have all this great resume. I am going to go ahead and keep looking till I find the job that really is offering me the benefits, the pay, the situation that I really want to have. When I find that, I will be all in. And I think Leo's saying, I can afford to wait. Same thing with a partner. If Leo's like, look, I'm completely ready to be with a partner and I'm also completely content to be single until I meet that one that I know has all the components that I'm seeking. This is a Leo who's very much in a position of power. This is a Leo who, what their next like chapter of life is a life of like freedom, a life of, again, choice, 2 of Wands. I think that this Leo could be a character who previously didn't get to make a lot of decisions. Like sometimes in life we find ourselves like, like let's say Leo had a lot of poverty and they had to like take whatever jobs they could get and they had to do whatever they could do to survive. And they had to, there were a lot of obstacles and maybe they felt like other people had more opportunities than they did. That's all shifting because of the way Leo has, intelligently planned their life, learned every lesson they could, gathered every experience that they could, gathered every skill that they could. This is a Leo who now has nothing but a smorgasbord of opportunities to them. It's all of these cards keep saying Leo has the opportunity to leave or stay. Leo has the opportunity to do whatever they wish, whatever's right for them. Leo, and that gives Leo balance. This is a Leo who wanted a certain amount of personal freedom is what it looks like. And they've been making such great decisions that now the life that they're supposed to be able to live is one of like Leo picks. And again, Page of Wands. I keep seeing this Leo as somebody who has wanted, I don't know, I think that this is a Leo who's going to be like doing a totally different career path. They're going to be living in a different area. They're going to be falling in love with somebody that is on a whole different life. Like let's say this Leo had lived in one small town their whole life, but in fact, they've always wanted to travel. This is a Leo who could have created that opportunity. They were always someone who was like, I'm meant to be exploring the world. I am a nomad. I'm meant to go meet other people from other places. I feel like my lifetime partner is going to be someone who might be well-traveled, maybe in from a completely different background. Maybe I'm supposed to live in a completely different place in the world than where I was born. And I've always known this. Well, I finally have positioned myself in a way where I can go with the flow, go with the wind. I can make decisions on the fly and I can have this adventure. That seems to be the life that this Leo was supposed to have. I think that this Leo is an adventurer at heart. They are somebody who maybe they come from a long line of ancestry, or maybe they, in a past life, they were like very much a nomad, very much an adventurer, a traveler, somebody who sailed across the seas, not knowing if they would find land, not knowing if the earth was round or flat. Maybe they are one of those in their past lives. They are definitely, I would argue, Leo is leaving behind in this next chapter of their life. They are leaving behind this idea that they are stuck, they are trapped, or that they have to stay in one spot. This is a Leo who I don't think will match very well with anybody who wants to stay stuck. Like if Leo has met lovers, partners that didn't have the same courageous spirit, I could see Leo leaving behind. I think that might be one of the single most important components for this Leo. I have to be with somebody who's brave enough to walk into the unknown and explore it. That seems to be what Leo wants. And Leo has positioned themselves through a lifetime of effort and exploration and developing their own personality. What they have, I think, learned about themselves is, I'm a traveler, I'm an explorer, and I really can't align myself with anyone or anything that keeps me so small. I got to have room to breathe, and I got to have new horizons, and I got to be able to explore. That's just who I am. This is very exciting for our Leo. Is there any blockage for Leo. Now, again, this is only if Leo chooses to take this path in life. This is a path that is open for them should they want it. Any blockages to this life, if this is the life that Leo wants to have. And of course, there's so many different timelines, but this is just one that might suit this particular fictional character, right? A life of more exploration, more excitement, a life where there's more opportunities. And it seems like that is right there for Leo should they want it. But the blockage to that could be acquiescing a bit too much to things that they don't want. With the Two of Pentacles, sometimes it's about juggling, sometimes it's like making peace. But if this is a little bit more than 50% is a poisonous mushroom, it almost says like in life, we always have to make some concessions. But when we concede to stuff we literally don't want at all, and we keep saying yes when what our heart really means is no, that could be a blockage to Leo really being able to make their own decisions and be that explorer that they actually are. And with the Six of Wands, it could also be if Leo winds up thinking that I'm supposed to do things that will like put my name on the map. So I must pursue something that, you know, then other people will say, wow, Leo did this, Leo did that. That could also be a blockage to Leo, because then they wouldn't be listening to their own choice making. Again, this whole story is about a Leo who needs to be able to make their own choices. That seems to be the life that they have craved. Maybe that's one of the fundamental aspects of who they are, is I want to make all my own choices, and I want to honor what I really care about to explore, and what I'm choosing could change depending on what answers I find when I explore new information, new territory, new lands. Maybe this is like if Leo gets too stuck saying, okay, well, I'm good at this, or this is gaining me traction, that might block Leo from making any more decisions. You know, sometimes if we choose the successful route, that doesn't always mean it's going to be the one that's most fulfilling. And it could get Leo on like a routine. This almost feels like a Leo who could be very good at many things in their life and be like, I'm picturing somebody who's like a jack of all trades, master of none, but they could easily become a master of something. You know, they could master one particular thing, become really good at it, become really well known for it, but that might sacrifice all the rest of the things that they've wanted to explore. And I don't know, that just, it doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that it could block Leo's like new pathway of all these, you know, like potential vistas that they could explore. What about in love? Do we have anything in particular for love? Because we've seen a very independent soul so far. We have the moon. It's so interesting because the life that Leo could have, should they want it. When it comes to love, Leo's like, oh gosh, I haven't really wanted to meet my forever partner yet. I mean, there's this dog and this wolf that are side by side, really bonded, but I almost feel like this is a Leo who's like, honestly, I might want to just have a little bit more time without a partner. Even though maybe I'm saying, yeah, I wish I had a partner. I kind of want a little bit more time of freedom. This Leo seems to be somebody who's got like a little bit of a checklist of things that they want. Or it's this, they're saying, I would love to have a partner who either joins me, or I would love to get with a partner in just a little while. Maybe I need another 5 months. Maybe I need another 5 years. I think that this Leo is a bit of a rolling stone. We keep seeing this very, very like explorative feminine who deep down, she might say, look, I'm a little bit of a wolf. It doesn't mean that I don't want a relationship. You know, dogs live at one location, right? Dogs, you know, have an address that they live at. Wolves are free. Yes, they roam in packs, but they're free. They're out there, you know, undomesticated. There is a certain amount of undomesticated energy. And this might just be one chapter of Leo's life where they're like, I kind of want to be single just for a little chunk of time. And then, yes, I would like to be in a relationship, but not if it's going to clip my wings too soon, because this next chapter, I need to go and do some big explorations. I think this looks like for like a chunk of maybe a year or half a year or something, Leo is like they needed to cut loose. As I'm hearing that song, now I got to cut loose. I'm seeing Kevin Bacon dance. It just feels like this Leo has needed a little bit of spice, a little bit of tang, a little bit of exploration. and them making all their own decisions just for a hot minute, just for this one little chapter of their life. It doesn't mean that they won't be happy to be in a wonderful relationship at some point, but in this story, the life that Leo is supposed to have is one where they have all the choices to make, because that seems to be like what their heart has craved, is a certain amount of like independence, but they'll still make a great partner. It's just, I just need a little bit more time of just total freedom here. Final message here. Knight of Swords. Yeah, I would say if somebody can keep up with Leo intellectually, if they're just as interested in the world around them, if they're just as whimsical, because I picture this as a Leo who, sitting down in their chair, and then one day they stand up and go, I think I'm going to go take a drive. I want to drive maybe for 16 hours straight because I got this wild hair. I got to go see this one location. If Leo's with a partner who's down for that, I think that that person could ride with Leo, right? But this just feels like Leo's got this zest for life right now to explore some things, and it's like they just got to do this, and the only person who can join them is somebody who's got the same zest for life, at least for right now. Life paths change, just like the highway that we're on. This is just for the here and the now. The current life path Leo's on, and the life that they deserve, and the life that they're creating seems to be one of this spot of like, I have more spontaneity. I can indulge in my desires to explore some things, and I get to just pick what I want. That's what it seems like in this story. You guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Lots of love. Bye.